Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Tuesday's ThetaTalks. My name is Maisha, and we have our segment today titled Make Love Not War. So it's going to be a very interesting topic because we haven't really explored anything like this in our very many Theta Talks. So I'm sure this is going to pique a lot of interest. So the reason I say that is because with so much unrest and so many situations that are affecting us nowadays in terms of wars and even oppression, right? It is a very interesting topic to explore, right? So the idea is, what if we can actually make a difference? And I think for a lot of us, sitting all the way on the other side, in front of our screens, in front of the phone, behind really in the safety of our own homes, we feel a little bit helpless with what's going on. So what can we actually do to create an impact or shift in what's going on around us? So what if we can shift and change what's going on within us or in our environment so that it can actually create change in what's happening all the way, miles and miles away? And I think all of us have this innate or inherent desire to be able to help, and we feel very empathic, right? When you watch the news, when you watch these things going on and you read about all this wars and unrest, it makes you feel uncomfortable, right? So we're going to explore a little bit more about that, on how, something that's happening all the way on the other side of the world can create that feeling within ourselves as well, even though we're not really experiencing it front line. There are situations where you feel really emotional or really angry with what's going on, and as I mentioned earlier, what if we can make a difference, right? Maybe what is happening outside of us is maybe a mirror reflection of what may be happening in our reality. So if we can shift and change and maybe even identify, then we can take those steps and at least sleep better at night, knowing that we're impacting and helping people that we don't even know, and creating more energy of peace, right, within our space. So in this segment, we are going to talk about how theta healing can actually help and empower us to do that. There's actually a course in theta healing called World Relations. So with theta healing, we have one-on-one sessions, but we also teach people how to do this for themselves, right? Help themselves and work with other people to do the healing and clearing. So besides the basic and foundation classes, there are lots and lots of additional niche programs that Theta Healing has underneath it. And one of them is actually called World Relations. And what I found very interesting was that World Relations was one of the classes that became online, and Theta Healing used to always be an in-person format. You never had an online version, but when pandemic hit, that quickly changed and shifted. So World Relations actually was one of those classes that came out very quickly. And that's because, Vienna realized the world is getting smaller, right? We're all sitting in our own homes, but interacting with people from all over the world. In terms of businesses, we had to find ways. We had to work from home. We had to connect with people from the other side of the world. So, in order for us to be able to do that in a manner of love and compassion and peace, we needed to work on any prejudices that we may have, any fears that we have inherited from our ancestors, right? Even just living on a land, on a piece of land, you can actually pick up imprints, or you can actually feel the essence of what went on in that land. So moving to another country, you may actually pick up the energy of what happened to that country, and it could also influence you. So this world relations course is actually delving into a broader perspective, right? Where you're working on religion, and how religion is one of those things which we have a lot of conflicts about. And so within that dynamics, we learn on clearing any programmings or fears that we may have inherited, or maybe in any of our lifetimes we were that particular religion, right? So it's a very deep class with a lot of interesting realizations, and it really does bring you closer to everybody around us, because at the end of the day, we are all one. We are made up of this energy and essence of Creator, of God, and if we can acknowledge that and accept that, then the world will, or can, follow suit and be more at peace. Imagine if we are able to do that in our environment, and more people are able to do that in their environments, then it will be able to create that shift or that change. So world relations is a really cool class that you learn how to disconnect from all of these group consciousness or ancestral trauma that we may have inherited, so that you can be fully present and connected to everyone. And how does that benefit you? If you're no longer carrying prejudices to anybody, or any anger towards any particular caste or religion, then you are able to open up opportunities that you may never have had, because opening up different markets, opening up the possibilities of working with people that are beyond your nationality, right? And going back to 2020 with the pandemic coming in, with Theta Healing, we went online. And as a result of going online, we were able to reach people from all over the world, right? So imagine if we were carrying prejudices and we were trying to get clients from all over the world. It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't connect. So the more you clear your programmings or your beliefs relating to any prejudice or anger that you're carrying, the more it opens up opportunities for you.
Hello.
Hi.
I think I just gave this whole talk away.
You did? Okay.
No.
Super. Should I become just the person watching? I'm happy
No,
to
no.
do
So
that.
I need you now because I kind of like did it all in 10 minutes. No.
Okay.
I was just introducing how it's very interesting that one of the classes that Vienna rolled out when pandemic hit was world relations, and how um if we work on our prejudices and our anger that we may be carrying towards other, castes or religions, then it'll bring us opportunities and closer to each other,
Yeah.
right? So,
Yeah.
yes.
And honestly, this is a topic that I think is so relevant
Mm,
for not only me and you, but like all of us, right? Because
yeah.
we are watching kind of the world pretty much go to shit,
Yeah.
right? I mean, just look at the war.
Mm,
War is happening in the world. Look at what's happening in the U.S. right now and the protests. Look at the riots. I mean, just look at what is going on. And I'm just giving you a very, very tunnel vision view of actually what's going on. There's so much more happening in
yeah.
this world that we are not even aware of. And when I was reflecting about what we would talk about today, what came to mind for me in particular was the fact that, our world feels very broken in so many
Mm,
ways, but it's just a reflection of what is in us that is still kind of struggling, where we are still in conflict with ourselves and each other. And, we can't really fault, or can we? But we can't really judge what's going on out there when, there is also that inner struggle and conflict that's raging inside of us, where we still have trouble accepting each other or tolerating each other. I mean, just look at a lot of our relationships. Are you able to accept and make peace with your parents, your
mm,
partner, your children, your boss, your colleagues, right? I mean, if we are waging war within our own families, I mean, people within families aren't talking to each other. Brother doesn't talk to brother, or like, we have all these conflicts all around us. No wonder the state of the world is also in so much divide and so much chaos. So one thing I've learned from Vayana and Theta Healing is about taking responsibility, right? And we've heard that as above, so below, as within, so outside, or as we see outside is a reflection of what's going on within us. So I guess I've always, or not I've always, but I've learned and I've held on to this perspective that we must work on ourselves to heal the
mm.
world, not try to heal the world outside of us, but to heal what's within us that creates the experience we have, right? So that
Yeah,
went really
absolutely.
deep, really fast.
That's what I was talking about. I said this is going to be a very one of those. It's not going to be like our other episodes because, it's something that I think everybody can really feel. I was talking a little bit about how even you're watching, or reading about it, right? You can already feel what those people are feeling, and they're right in the forefront of things, right? So if we can work on ourselves and shift that, then of course that can also help in
Yeah.
terms of projecting onto them also, or the people that
Yeah.
are going through this.
I mean, the title of today's Theta Talks is Make Love, Not War,
Mm,
right? Because honestly, the whole problem, the way I look at it, is we aren't living our lives from love. We are
mm.
at war with ourselves. We are at war with the people around us, with, groups and communities and cultures. And, if only we could approach things with more love, then everything would be different, right? I mean,
So let's break this down a little bit, right? I
okay.
think so that people can really, it sounds great when we talk about it. How does it actually impact if we do that? How does it really make a difference to what is happening outside? Right? If we're able to do that. Like
Yeah.
one of the things I picked up on was just what you were talking about in terms of, even within our own, parents and our own families, we're not talking to each other. And so for me, what comes up is if I can, close off to them, and these are the people who are really close to me, then why not other people, right? It gives me validity to kind of extend this type of quick
Behavior or and
behavior or belief to other people,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. I mean, the way I look at it, right? If we were more loving towards ourselves,
Mm,
right? We would actually feel
good about ourselves. We wouldn't be in the state of self-sabotage or trying to like push people away or trying to overprotect ourselves. And we become very we become very you know what, let me say this a totally different way, because I actually have a picture of somebody who I'm thinking of, right? And so there's someone that comes to mind who feels like the whole world is against her,
Mm.
right? And she just feels like she can't trust people. People will backstab her, stab her in the back. People will betray her. That's always how it's been for her whole life, from her parents to like, different people, relationships, you name it. She's always felt like people cannot be trusted, they'll betray her. And so when she engages with people, or when she goes out in the world and she lives her life, whether it's at work, whether it's with her friends, whether it's with, her family members, she's quick to criticize, quick to
Mm.
judge, quick to like push people away or cut them down. She's quick to insult people. So she basically, she
She's
purport,
protecting herself,
and yeah, so it's
right?
really
Yeah.
bad behavior that comes out with other people.
Mm-hmm.
But what is she really doing?
Mm.
She's really just protecting herself. She's like, let me hurt them before they hurt me.
Right.
Let me push them away before they reject me,
Mm.
right? Let me make sure they know they can't walk all over me. So I'm going to be overly aggressive with them. So everything she's doing is to actually protect herself. But to the other person, what they feel is like she is not very kind or
Mm.
gracious or nice, and so what they're receiving from her is this very aggressive, very, not not open, not welcoming type of behavior. It's the kind of behavior that makes you want to stay away from people or walk away. And so
And
that's
so
what they
that's what
do.
they do. Yeah,
That's what they do,
exactly.
right? That's what they
Mm.
do. And then the girl who's doing this behavior is like, see, I can't count on them. See,
Yeah.
can't trust them. They're just going to walk
Mm-hmm.
away. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Mm.
When we don't come from a place of love ourselves, right? Then we literally are walking around in the world at war with everyone, because
Yep.
we're not in a space of love and peace and safety and security. And one of the things that I see over and over again is when we don't feel safe, we act out,
Mm.
right? Which is what a child does. And
Yeah.
many of us are acting from these child selves, or these like parts of us that never grew up, right?
Mm.
So if you don't feel safe, maybe there's too much stress in your house. Maybe your parents are fighting. Maybe you're being bullied at school. Whatever it may be, if there's stress and tension, as a child, you're going to act out. You're going to
Yep.
throw tantrums. You're going to behave badly. You're going to, whine and complain. You're going to do all these kind of behaviors, which are childlike behaviors, but they're really coming from a child that's not feeling safe or
Yeah.
secure. So if you're a parent and you're listening in and your child is doing all of these kind of behaviors, it's because your child doesn't feel safe. They
Mm.
don't feel loved or cared for or nurtured. And you might think you are doing everything for them, right? But perhaps taking care of them and sending them to school and, cooking them food and all of that is not what they need right now.
Mm.
What
Mm.
they need is for you to hold their hand and say, I love you no matter what, right?
Mm.
They just need you to kind of give them that sense of safety and security and love. And so many of us grew up feeling not safe in our environments. And it could be, it could be nothing to do with our parents, but everything to do with the situation. Maybe there
Yeah.
was a financial stress. Maybe you grew up in war, when there was a
Mm.
war happening. Or maybe your parents' parent was sick. Your
Mm.
grandparents were sick. Maybe
Or
your
you were
uncle,
influenced, even
whatever,
media,
media,
right? Yeah.
right? Something or the other was happening,
Mm.
and it affected your sense of safety and security.
Right.
Maybe your parent was sick in the
Mm.
hospital or lost their job. There's so many things that aren't really anyone's fault. It's a circumstance. But
Mm.
whatever it was, it could even be, you were the only child in the house and then a baby came. And
Right.
suddenly, your parents' attention and everyone's attention shifted to the baby and you don't feel safe. Whatever it
Yeah.
may be, you have grown up not feeling safe. And then as a result, that sense of insecurity or lack of safety is something that you took into the adult life because you
Mm,
never got safety and security. You don't know what it feels like. So you grow up on this kind of mode where I need to protect myself because I'm not
mm,
safe. I need to, I need to make sure nobody's gonna take advantage of me or reject me. So you basically, we call it in theta healing, right, Maisha? We call it overcorrecting behavior. You
mm,
compensate. You
yeah.
overcompensate for things that happened in the past, and you almost anticipate the same thing happening over and over again. So we see that all the time with our clients, and we end up doing a lot of inner child work. But ultimately, like when we aren't whole and complete, when we haven't learned to love ourselves, meet our own emotional needs,
Mm,
then we grow up as individuals with who are at war with each other instead of making love, instead
mm.
of coming from love and sharing love and tuning into the energy of love. And unfortunately, that is why our world is kind of in many places in shambles because people are angry and they are overprotecting, and that's really what war is. It's like
Yeah.
one side saying I need to annihilate you because we don't feel safe if you're living.
And what's interesting is some people could say, you know what, it's love for country, which is why I'm fighting for my country, or which is why, people who live abroad and who are from that nationality would feel like, more protective over their country, let's
Right.
just say,
Right.
right? But that's not really love, right?
No,
It's
it's fear.
again, yes,
It's
exactly.
fear, right? It's
You
like
know?
I'm coming from a space where I need to destroy you because if I
Mm,
don't, you're going to do something to me. And of course,
correct.
there is validation in the form of really things that happen. But ultimately, it's like you did this, and the
Mm,
cycle of just pain and suffering continues for
right.
generations and generations,
So,
even though we don't even
yeah.
remember what we're fighting for anymore,
Yeah,
right?
and we might misconstrue that as love, right? We might kind of package that, in a way that it looks like it's love for country, or you got to do
Or
this because
justice,
justice. Yeah,
right? We all have
absolutely.
this idea of why we need to fight for a principle or a reason or some kind of commitment that you feel like you need to uphold, right? But in
Yeah,
actuality, all you're doing is creating more
more.
hate, more
Yeah.
divide, more war instead of love.
So, what can people take the first steps here today, right? What can they do is the question of what is what conflict is there within me or within my space or my dynamic, a good place to kind of look at, right?
Yeah, that's such a big question. I love the
Mm,
question you asked, but I think it's such a big question. There's no real small step. There's
mm,
just one big step,
mm.
which as a theta healer, you and I, when we took the leap, we took the leap, right? We just jumped to the other side. And I think that's what our students and what our clients end up doing and learning as well, that we got to take responsibility, right,
Yeah,
for ourselves. We have to clean up our side of the street. We have to, come from a place where we feel safe, secure, where we can love other people instead of spreading hate. Like we can only work on ourselves,
mm,
right? We can only heal what's within us that is not that is making a mess in the outside world, because that's
yeah.
really what's happening. Our leaders in today's world, who are unhealed individuals who have so much unresolved stuff that they're
Mm.
carrying genetically from their ancestors, from their own upbringing, from their bad traumatic life
Conditioning,
experiences,
yeah, conditioning.
right? They're conditioning. So
Mm.
basically, we have on the world stage leaders who are just really badly behaved leaders because they have their own stuff that they haven't cleaned up, and they are spewing all their hateful drama, which
And
comes from,
tantrums.
right? And tantrums, and like children, they are,
I won't let
throwing,
you in.
yeah, they're throwing these tantrums right in front of us, and we're watching them all act like overgrown children
Mm,
or
mm,
making really bad decisions like, hey, I don't like you, so I won't play with you, and I'm going to get
yeah.
everyone to stop playing with you on the playground as
Mm,
well, right? That's what's happening in some parts
yeah.
of the world too, right? We decide that we're better and we're going to mean girl you right?
Mm,
And we're just gonna like spread rumors about you,
yeah.
and we're gonna make it look like everybody should hate you,
Mm,
right? This is literally what's happening in the world, right?
yeah.
And this is all childish,
Mm,
like unresolved bad behavior that has not been healed or fixed.
mm.
And so we have a world where there is just so much happening that hurts our soul, that hurts our heart. But again, all we can do is send love. We can love ourselves, heal ourselves, and we can send love to other people as well.
Beautiful. I love that.
Wow, what a
Yeah,
deep
you gave
convo.
I think you've made it very easy for everyone to kind of take accountability and know what is the next step. But our next step is our virtue
Virtue
cards.
cards, yes. Oh, this
So,
is interesting. Let's tune in. Okay.
okay, all right. Diana, give us some cool. Okay, this one jumped out. Finally, responsibility. It gave us an easy one to
Oh
explore.
my God. And that card jumped out. And, for anyone
It
who's
jumped out.
yeah, anyone who reads tarot or oracle cards, the card that jumps out is the one that's meant for you. So we got responsibility. You want to read the
Yeah.
definition of responsibility as a virtue?
Yes, I shall. Give
Guys,
me a
if you're
second.
listening or watching, like this is divine, like intervention happening right here, like the universe is just saying, take
all
responsibility.
all the other times they were playing with us in terms of what can we create from here.
Or
Okay,
what was the lesson? But this one I think is maybe we are more clear. I think it might be
that's
that
true.
in today's conversation, I think we were
Mm,
very clear about and intentional about what we wanted to say. And
yeah.
so the card that came out was also very clear. Alignment. That's what alignment is.
Okay, responsibility is a strong and non-wavering law that requires discipline and persistence and must be balanced with wisdom. Wow,
Mm,
beautiful. It can be overwhelming if not balanced with a bit of playfulness as a reward for the satisfaction of a job well done. It moves us into our path and pushes us to fulfill our divine purpose.
I love it.
Okay,
Beautifully, beautifully said.
beautiful.
Yeah.
So, this was lovely. This was
Yeah.
fun.
Yes.
I would like to invite everybody to join our emotional breakthrough sessions so that you can see how easy it is to take the next step and take accountability,
Yeah.
right? The moment I realized and understood that I'm creating my own reality and I need to take accountability and it wasn't an easy pill to swallow, but once you get past that, then it's exciting,
Yeah.
right? Because you are empowered enough to create change not only within you, but outside of you.
Yeah. And honestly, for those of you who are listening and watching this, if you are not taking advantage of these emotional breakthrough sessions, like seriously, you're missing out. I don't even take these sessions anymore. I used to, and now you can't, like, I just don't have time in my calendar to take these sessions. And that's pretty much where Maisha is, where she's gonna not be able to take these sessions very soon because she's so busy with classes and clients, and she still made this time in her schedule to let people or give people a chance to book. Well, how long are they? Like 20-minute sessions?
Yes.
Yeah. You get 20 minutes with Maisha. I mean, even if she scans you and tells you what's going on in your life, you're already going to be like, oh my God, wow.
Mm.
Right? If she does a download for you or she like helps you identify something that you didn't see, you are going to be so much better for it. And I think because it's like free and we offer it, maybe you don't see the value, but if I were you, I would jump on the opportunity to get 20 minutes with Maisha to just even tell you what you could possibly work on or what's going on with you. It's just it's an opportunity to have someone who is super psychic, right, to read you and to help you understand what lies in front of you, what you need to do to move forward. Maybe you ask her questions about anything that's going on in
Mm.
your life. I mean, this is just such a great opportunity. And if I was, you know, where you were, because I remember when I was living my life and I didn't know that all of this stuff was available to me, right? And at that
Yeah.
time, you know, there was nobody saying like, hey, you have a free 20-minute session to find out more, because I would have jumped on that. So I really want
Yeah.
to invite you to take advantage
Thank
of
you.
this. It really is something worth your time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So
All
the
right,
link
guys.
is on our description, right? So make sure
Mhm.
you click on it. All
Yep.
right.
And it's
See you
also
guys.
bit.ly/forward slash E dash B dash S.
Correct.
Okay, great. All right, you guys, thank you for listening, watching, tuning in. We love you, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.